Well, hey, what's happening, everybody? This is GreenBean, and welcome to another late night vlog. Tonight is cool because I am inspired to make this video by potentially the greatest Jets interview of all time. And I don't mean by a Jet. I mean by an outsider, an external observer talking about the New York Jets. I don't know if I've ever heard an interview as good as this. And we're going to get into that right after I remind you. It helps a great deal if you go ahead and take a second and click that little thumbs up icon underneath the video there. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, now is a great time to do so. That's that rectangular button that says subscribe. It's red. You can't miss it. Go ahead and click that guy. And if you'd like exclusive private content from me, GreenBean, you can join the Beanbaggers. Get in on that fun with us. The link is in the top of the description of this video. So guys, I was just hanging out with said Beanbaggers, and one of them, Iowan Jetsfan, said, "Hey, did you hear the interview with Davidcarr?" And I hadn't. So we listened to it together, and boy, oh boy, was I impressed. What a great man that Davidcarr is, I gotta say. Now, in fairness, I didn't always think that about him. I remember when Davidcarr was drafted to the Houston Texans, who were an expansion team at the time. They were first team up that year. That was their first draft ever. They had the #1 overall pick. They took Davidcarr, and they didn't do well with him. You know, saw them kind of destroy his career in many respects, but he did have an 11-year NFL career. But now he's an analyst, all right? So he's on the Rich Eisen Show, which if you haven't checked out Rich Eisen yet, you got it. I mean, he's about as good of a Jets fan guy that we have out there, right? He's about the creme of the creme. You know what I'm saying? He's the cream of the crop. And I love Rich Eisen. I have for a long time. But so he's interviewing Davidcarr, and he says, "Hey, you said some nice things about the New York Jets. Now I'm going to give you a platform. Put some meat on the bone here. What are you talking about? Why do you think the Jets could make the playoffs?" Now, Davidcarr went on to talk in the most measured way that you could imagine. It wasn't some boastful kind of clicky thing. It had nothing to do with that. It was real football talk, saying a lot of the same things that we've been saying, but it's kind of hard to take root anywhere. Nobody wants to receive this information that we're putting out there. So Davidcarr comes in and he says the following. Number one, that the Jets are about to make the playoffs. He talked about Zach Wilson. He said he really likes Zach Wilson, but what he likes even more is how the Jets handled Zach Wilson. He said they didn't baby him last year. They didn't hold his hand and protect him and make him throw 3 passes a game so, you know, they could protect their little baby rookie quarterback. They threw him into the fire. Now, this is something that we discussed at length all year. There were 2 schools of thought. One is, hey, why don't you take it slow and bring the quarterback up nice and steady and just slow and protect them? And this way you can gain some confidence and all that sort of stuff. The other school of thought was, which is what the Jets employed, is the guy, he needs to have the mental fortitude to handle this. We're not going to waste time with him and take 3 years to develop him. We're going to give him our entire offense, and we're going to let him learn on the job, out of the frying pan, into the fire. And that's what we saw last year. You know, for the first quarter of the season alone, he was the most sacked, hurried, rushed, hit quarterback in the NFL, alongside of a whole bunch of drops. He had a rough go because he was absorbing the full offense of the New York Jets at the same time as being out there with a bunch of guys that wanted to kill him and an offensive line that didn't know their assignments yet and the whole thing. So he said it was really great to watch that, and he appreciates the tact that the Jets took with Zach Wilson. He also called him an aggressive quarterback, and he said Zach Wilson is fearless. So he's not somebody who's going to be tentative. He's fearless. He will take the shots. He said, look, you might get some turnovers with that, but you're going to see a lot of great plays with that. Now, and maybe even more important thing, this is something that I've been talking about for a little while now. I know you've heard me say this over the past year and a half. He said that the Jets are collecting such interesting young talent who don't know they're supposed to suck. They don't know that they're supposed to come in here and just, oh, it's the Jets, let me just get through my contract and get out of here. No, they're young, studly players. Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, on and on. Zach Wilson, AVT. All these guys are coming on, and guess what? They think that they can be good. They don't care that the last 3 coaches suck. They don't care that the last bunch of GMs were accountants. They don't care. They want their careers to go well. They're uber talented. They have the right character, the right makeup, the right work ethic. And guess what? They don't know that they're not supposed to make the playoffs. I think that is the most wonderful thing ever. That's what we've been talking about. If you collect enough young talent, they don't care that 10 years ago the butt fumble happened. They don't care. They think they're the best. They think that the guy next to them is the best, and that us together, we can make some waves right here. And that's what he said he sees happening this year. He said Elijah Vera-Tucker played as well as any player in the entire league last year. This is the stuff. This is the stuff we've been talking about. He went on to say, look, there's no hiding that the first 10 games of the New York Jets season is brutal. He said, let's be clear, the NFL is out to get the Jets. What? Can you believe somebody outside of our little sphere of consciousness said such a thing? He said the NFL is clearly out to get the Jets. Rich Eisen went, yes, because it's clear. You couldn't have given us 1 Jaguars, 1 Chicago Bears, 1 Detroit Lion before the bye. Not one. You give us Green Bay and the AFC North. What is this? Anywho, it is what it is. It is what it is. But David Carr said that he thinks that we can come out of that looking pretty well because the collection of players that Joe Douglas is bringing in, they're actually good football players. Uzoma, Conklin, Laken Tomlinson, in addition to all the young guys that we're bringing in, the Breece Halls and Garrett Wilsons of the world. They don't know they're supposed to suck, and they're actually good. He also went on to say, to talk about Robert Saleh a little bit. He met Robert Saleh when he was a quality control coach for the Houston Texans. And he said the guy cares about everybody in the room, everybody in the building. Every single person knows that about him. And he said, I wouldn't worry about the defense. He's going to get the defense turned around. It's going to be better. You shouldn't even have to think about it. That's nice to hear too, because I got to tell you, I don't know. That's one of the areas I'm a little nervous with Robert Saleh, if I'm being completely frank. So it's nice to hear him say that. Rich Eisen did point out that he agrees with the comments that David Carr was saying, but he said, isn't it just the Jets' luck that we finally get a general manager that seems to know what he's doing? We seem to know how to build a team, and it just so turns out that we do this when the entire AFC is Super Bowl contenders. It's stacked. Isn't that just the Jets' luck? And David Carr said, well, hey, you know, every season it doesn't go like we plan it. Every season, you never know. Somebody goes from worst to first. Somebody's at the top and they suddenly don't play well. A quarterback gets hurt, something happens every single year. The Jets are stacked. The Jets are stacked. Guys, let me know what you think. I'm excited about it. Again, that's about the best article or best interview, I should say, that I've heard in years pertaining to the Jets outside of our own little bubble. Outside of former Jets saying something nice about the Jets. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you haven't heard it, go listen to it. It's David Carr on the Rich Eisen Show. It just came out today or yesterday or what have you. Get out there, take a listen. Let me know what you think. I'm excited about our New York Jets. Remember, they don't know they're supposed to suck, and that's why we're not gonna. Have a great night, everybody, and go Jets.